Welcome to another video on Field of Play TV. This week we're doing something different. We got some predictions for the season ahead, and we've made some predictions before, but obviously, as you can see, I'm here by myself because me and T4 do sometimes get swayed, do sometimes get into a little argument. So we are trying something different, and we're doing it individually. So T will come on after, give his predictions for the season, and then come the end of the season, we'll look back and see who was right, who was wrong, who was way off, who was spot on. So yeah, so today I'm gonna go first, and we're just gonna go through basically who we think is gonna win the league, how the table's gonna go, and all the awards at the end of the season. So yeah, let's do it. The champions this season, I feel like it's kind of a boring answer, and I'm gonna go with Man City. I do feel like, I'm not gonna lie, there's the Jesus sell and the Sterling sell bewildered me, to be honest with you. I was really confused. I thought there were two players that understood the way Pep wanted to play to a T. I thought there were two players City no longer zero having the squad now. So I was bamboozled by them two sales because I thought they were just two major staples and even Zinchenko a little bit, because I feel like, yeah, Zinchenko, they've been wanting to move him on a little bit for the last few seasons, but he's always managed to work his way back into the team, play a major part. So them three sales were a bit worrying for me, but obviously with the money they have, with the resources, now the pool, they've obviously pulled over Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, Calvin Phillips. I was a bit worried, but I just feel like in comparison to the rest of the league, I feel like they're just gonna have too much firepower, especially up top now with a number 9. They didn't have a number 9, and they were getting by a fan. But yeah, looking at the team still, I think they'll struggle a lot more this season because they don't have that. They don't have that winger to. Sterling was the one who beat a man, and he was just a different outlet, and he would always be the one on the end of them the backstick goals. It really was baffling to me. But I just feel like they're gonna have too much more than the rest of the league. So yeah, I am worried because I'm not worried because obviously I don't support City, but in terms for their sake, I am worried in terms of how games might wilder out into 0-0s. Will they be able to break teams down? Because I just feel like that Jesus and Sterling, especially them two, when the going got tough, you can see them just doing something out of nothing. Can Grealish, Mahrez more so, but can Grealish get on board now? Can he say, I'm going to put this team on my shoulders and win games, win leagues? I'm not sure that's going to be the case, but I just think in terms of how they play, and obviously Pep, how many times he's won it, and Erling Haaland especially, I think he's going to be the difference. He's going to just score a silly amount of goals. So yeah, I think it was pretty straightforward for me this season, and I feel like Man City are going to do it again still. So for my top 6, I'm going to go with obviously City the champions, and I'm going to go with Spurs in 2nd, Liverpool in 3rd, Arsenal in 4th, Chelsea in 5th, and United unfortunately in 6th. Now, I feel like this a little bit the same with Manchester City. Liverpool have obviously sold some players where I've gone, what the hell are you doing? I really don't understand. Obviously the main one is Sadio Mane. That's a major loss. We're talking about a guy who, how Liverpool played, him and Salah were the key to it. And changing that now with Luis Diaz, who's obviously a great player, I don't think Luis Diaz is the same player. I think Sadio Mane is levels above. And I think they're going to miss that. And I've always said, if Darwin doesn't score enough goals this season, I think Liverpool are going to struggle. I think he'll get goals. My worry is I don't know how many. And if he doesn't get enough or doesn't contribute enough in the biggest moments or the biggest games, then I think they're going to really, really feel that loss of Sadio Mane. And for that reason, I feel like Tottenham are going to break these two for the first time in, I think, 3-4 years. I think, obviously, this is a major Conte tax, if you'd like to put it that way, major Conte factor, because obviously, would I have said this at the start of last... Could I have imagined saying this a year ago? Most definitely not. But that's what Conte does. Conte comes, builds teams, get them playing in his way, in his manner. And you saw that this summer with the signings he's made. If you look at it on paper, you'll probably say Perisic, Bissouma, obviously a young player in Spence, Richarlison. You wouldn't be majorly impressed. But because it's Conte and because he knows how to get these players playing, especially Perisic, especially Spence in them wing-back positions, Bissouma, Lenglet in a back three, you just know it's going to go well. And I might be horribly wrong. Spurs are Spurs, but I just feel like with Conte and the squad they have, that front three especially, I think that front three, obviously with Richarlison covering, wow, I think that front three is the best in the league for me. Now that obviously Mane's gone. So yeah, I think they've taken over as the best. That's the best front three in the league. So I see them causing major trouble this season. I don't think they'll just quite go to do it to win the league, but I think they have the capabilities, especially with what's going on around them, to break down that top two that has been for the last 3-4 years. In fourth, I think Arsenal are going to squeeze it. I think I've really, really, really liked their signings. I really like their team. Yeah. I really liked them towards the end of last season. And to add Gabi Jesus, obviously Zinchenko, they added Vieira, Saliba is like a new signing. I really, really like their team. I really, really like the way Arteta's built that. And I just see them going from strength to strength to strength and winning games they might not have won last season, getting through moments they might not have got through last season. So I think they're just going to do it. I think it's a strong enough side to go on a run. Obviously, Europa League football's going to play a part. I don't know how that's going to... I can't lie. I don't know how that's going to affect things. It could affect things majorly, but ignoring that for a minute, if they control themselves and rotate the right amount when it comes to them Thursday nights, I think they'll be fine. And honestly, with Jesus and Ketia, they've got firepower now. They've got Saliba might bring that stability to the back four. I see them doing it. I really like their team. And I don't think any higher than that, but I do think they might nick that fourth spot. Now with Chelsea and United, I feel like with United, we are just... It's painfully... It's a painful showing, to be honest with you, from off the pitch, on the pitch, in the summer. We were promised things, or we were told via the media that Ten Hag's this, Ten Hag's going to get this, he's going to get back by like this and like that. Same old story has occurred. We've signed a free agent, a left back no one knew about, and a centre-half who's 5'9", with all due respect. So I don't see us making major waves. Like I said in the video before, we've got to put all our eggs in the Europa League basket. Unless we do a madness outside of Frankie de Jong, which is even that's not confirmed. I see us struggling, and I won't be surprised if it might be a little bit lower. But with Chelsea, it's a bit of a weird one. You kind of don't know why they're signing certain players. I'm not gonna lie, like some of these players is just like, what do you like? Is there a plan? Do you know what you're doing? You've just lost your striker. You're not really trusting on Werner. I feel like Aspie's still there. It's about time he moves on. You've lost Rudiger. You've brought in Koulibaly. Arguably now, Rudiger is the better centre half. So you've lost you've lost a centre half, replaced him for a worse one. You've not really got cover in that area. Koulibaly's injuries and age, Thiago Silva's injuries and age. I feel like that midfield needs to get updated a little bit, and the major one is not having a number 9. So they could sneak into the top four because on paper and obviously in reality it's still a very good side. But I just feel like there's just a lot of question marks, a lot of positions that could get replaced. And I feel like with Arsenal being hungry, some of these players, the quality they've brought in, I feel like they might just nick it ahead of Chelsea. But that I feel like that top five is going to be the battle for the top four, and then obviously I think United are just going to falter off behind a little bit. So yeah, that's my top. That's my top six for the season. My relegation candidates, or the guys that I think are going to go down, the bottom three. Ooh, the thing is with Bournemouth and Fulham, yeah. So let me just say it. I think it's going to be. This is a surprising one. I think Leeds. I might be horribly wrong, and it might be because I don't necessarily like them. But Jesse Marsh, I think, done well. Was fortunate to keep that team in the league. There was moments last season where it was about to go and something will happen in another game or something, or they'll get a last minute winner. Was fortunate, but got to give credit for keeping them up. I just feel like I don't know if he's the man to keep that team in the league. I feel like Bielsa set them up in a way where it might be very hard. That might be very hard to get out of. They've spent a lot of money. They've bought my Colombian Sinistera. They've bought a couple others. They bought Salzburg. They bought Rocker in midfield. Tyler Adams in midfield. A completely different midfield. Obviously after losing Phillips, they're steady signings. They're good signings. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do plunge up the league table. But I don't. Them signings are risky in terms of how they would how that would relate back in the Premier League. How they'll be able to deal with the Premier League, how they'll be able to respond to what I think isn't a good enough manager. So I think they'll get dragged into it. I was speaking to Lambs earlier, and we would decide. Well, I was deciding who I thought it will be, and I'm not gonna lie. It could. There's gonna be 6 or 7 down there. There's a lot of teams struggling. Leicester haven't strengthened. Everton haven't really strengthened either. They struggled last season. I don't necessarily think Lampard's the greatest manager in the world. So yeah, there could be 5, 6, 7 teams vying in that relegation battle. But I'm just gonna say Leeds because obviously, like I said, yeah, I just think they're gonna get dragged into it, and I don't know if them players will be able to hack it. 1 and 2, I don't think the manager is good enough. So I feel like they're gonna get dragged into that one. And for the bottom 2, I feel sorry for them. I feel like they've come into a situation where they've got 2. I feel like the Bournemouth and Fulham, or obviously the other 2, I feel are gonna go down. I feel there's a situation there where they've got good enough managers. I like Scott Parker and I like Marco Silva. I like what they've done. I like the way they tend to play football. But obviously, I feel like I don't know the situations at those football clubs, but it's just like you see Nottingham Forest and you think, raw, you go into the Premier League and that's how you want to get backed. You want to get backed by signing big players and saying, oh, I want to stay in this league. I want to stay in this league for longer than a season. I don't want to go back to the Championship. So, yeah, I feel sorry for them because it's like they got some nice players, but nowhere near enough. Especially Bournemouth. Bournemouth just signed Marcus Tavernier, who I like, very good player. But again, other than that, it's pretty much the same team as last season. And you just think that's not going to be enough to stay in the Premier League. And it's just the same with Fulham. Like, again, I like the Paulinho signing. But then, what else? Bernd Leno, good keeper, yes. But then, that's nowhere near enough for me anyways. Because then it's like, I don't rate Pereira. I don't want to get started on him. So, for me, I don't think that's an amazing signing for what it was. Yeah, so they've just not done enough. By the end of the window, it might change. But if it's taken them this long, I don't expect them to make that up by the time the window closes. So, unfortunately, I feel like it is going to be Bournemouth and Fulham straight back down. I just don't think they've done enough. in the transfer market, and the players they do have, I don't think are good enough to keep either side in the Premier League. Saying that, I do think Fulham and Bournemouth will do better than they done in the season they got relegated. I do believe that, but I just don't think it will be enough. My underachievers for the season. This one easy. Again, I might have power on my face because I might be wrong, and the way I'm talking is firm, like I believe it. But Aston Villa, Slippy G. Yeah, not for me. Some of the signings again, Diego Carlos. I do not understand. Like, if you're gonna have Tyrone Mings, obviously, well, it seems like Tyrone Mings is obviously got dropped from the captaincy, and he looks like the one that's gonna be dropped. If you are gonna make that decision that Tyrone Mings is gonna lose the captaincy and gonna get dropped, for the life of me, I do not understand why you would replace him with Diego Carlos. He's an erratic centre half who isn't the greatest defender, which sounds a whole lot Tyrone Mings. So I didn't get the signing for the money it was. I just didn't understand. And if you were to go look at their team on paper, that should be a team vying for the top. I'd say after the top 6, maybe the top 7, top 8, top 9 at a push. Looking at their team on paper, but just having that and that manager who again I think isn't cut out for it, I feel like they are going to disappoint a lot this season, especially just saying with regards to the personnel, the money they've spent. I feel like they're going to disappoint a lot this season, and I think it might be a bottom half finish. And for that side, and for that money spent, like I said, some of the decisions that were made in terms of who they're bringing in and the Grealish money that they used, I think it's not. It was a little bit like with like the Danny Ings signing last year. I just really didn't understand it. Don't understand the Diego Carlos one. I somewhat understand the Boubacar Kamara one. Is he going to start? Again, it's yet to be seen. But when you have Douglas Luiz in there, John McGinn is your captain, so you're obviously going to start John McGinn. I don't really understand maybe dropping Douglas Luiz. So, yeah, I feel like they're going to be the underachievers of the season. I just can't see anything but a bottom half finish. And saying that for that team, it's just nowhere near good enough. My overachievers, it's between two. Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. I'm gonna go with Forest because I think it's obviously the greater achievement. Yeah, I think they're gonna comfortably stay in the league again. I might have egg on my face by the end of the season, but I think they're gonna stay. I really, really like what they've done. I really like their manager. They obviously play 5 at the back, which if Cooper's got that down to a T, I think will work well. But the Lewis O'Brien signings, the Jesse Lingard signing, the Toffolo, Nico Williams, Richards, Henderson, the Taiwo Awayini signing. I'm so impressed. And you compare that to the 2 that I think are going to get relegated. I just think it's night and day how one team's got backed after getting into the Premier League and the others haven't. And I think they're gonna it's gonna go well for them because of that. So my overachievers for the season, Nottingham Forest. I think rightly so. A lot of people, again, not wrong, but a lot of people thought they'll go straight back down. Still think they might go straight back down, but I think those signings will be enough. I heard there was a bid for Morgan Gibbs-White, so they're trying to strengthen more. So God knows what it might look like by the end of the season. So yeah, I think Nottingham Forest will be my overachievers for the season. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you guys what my whole Premier League table, what I think is gonna be. Obviously, again, like I said, so we can look back on it at the end of the year and see how wrong how right was I and how wrong T was. So I'm gonna go obviously City first, Spurs second, Liverpool third, Arsenal fourth, Chelsea fifth, United sixth. I'm gonna go West Ham seventh, Newcastle eighth, Wolves ninth, Crystal Palace 10th, Brighton in 11th, Brentford 12th, Nottingham Forest 13th, Aston Villa 14th, Everton 15th, Leicester 16th, Southampton 17th, Leeds 18th, Fulham 19th, and Bournemouth rock bottom. No, top goal scorer, Harry Kane. I feel like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Darwin Núñez and Erling Haaland are gonna do well, but obviously it's their first season in the Prem. I think they're gonna get somewhat a fair amount of goals, but I don't think it's gonna be the highest in the league. I think Harry Kane started so slowly last season. Obviously, when Conte and it just picked up, and his partnership with obviously Son lit up as well. So I just think Kane is gonna carry over how it ended last season, and go with take the Golden Boot award. For assists, the top assist award, I think there's none other but Kevin De Bruyne. I feel like Kevin De Bruyne had it tough. Obviously, doesn't have it tough because City are a great side. Pep's got them playing brilliantly, but now having a number 9, someone just to aim for, I think is a different proposition. So I think that's going to even propel him up a few more notches in terms of assist numbers. So yeah, I think they're going to win the league. I think they're going to score the most goals as a team in the Premier League, and that's only good news for Kevin De Bruyne. So I think pretty straightforward that one. But top assist Kevin De Bruyne. My player of the season. Ooh, this is mad. I think Erling Haaland. We're looking at we watched the Community Shield last week, or whenever last week, and he didn't score. He missed sitters. To be fair to him, but it's just the amount of chances I think my man's gonna get is just gonna be ridiculous. He could have scored literally a hat-trick last week. His movement's I think City need to tune in with his movement though. There was a lot of times last week where he made certain runs and the runs were brilliant, keeping it in time, not going offside, whatnot. But a lot of the time City just ignored him, didn't play that pass, and I think that's obviously when you play without a striker for a season or two, you're gonna get used to not having those runs. But now that he's here, I think City have to quickly get used to that so that they can get the best out of Erling Haaland, because he can't just keep running for the season and you not feed him and just get off scraps in the box. He needs, what he's best at is rolling the centre half, going in behind, doing them runs, timing them runs, and people putting him through so he can put in the back of the net. So I feel like he's gonna get big goals at big moments, and I think he's gonna be the reason. I think he's gonna be the reason City do it again. So I'm gonna go player of the season, Erling Haaland. Young player of the season. Oh, this one's an easy one for me. I was just so impressed with how this boy came into the league last season and just took it alight. And that's Kulusevski. I just feel like it was just crazy. Like I'm still sitting there thinking, what are Juventus playing at? I just don't get it. Like, why would you get rid of him? It did not make sense to me at the time. Not because I thought he was going to be this great player, but because I thought he's a young player. Juventus need a bit of fresh air, and they just got rid of him. And then Spurs took a lump on him, and he was brilliant. And now the Juventus can't grab him back because I think Spurs got an obligation or something like that. So, and obviously with the Richarlison signing, I'm still a bit confused about that, because I think there's no way you can break up that front three So yeah, I'm gonna go Dejan Kulusevski. I really, really, really like him. He scores goals, he gets assists, he's bedded in perfectly with Harry Kane and Son. Um, and again, a major reason why he's gonna be, I'd say, close up there, and he's gonna be a major reason why Spurs are gonna come close. And I think, yeah, he's a brilliant signing. Spurs are lucky to have him. He causes defenders headaches, whether it's on the ball in a one-on-one, whether it's he's curving, he's running behind, whether he's at the back post putting a tap in. He can do whatever. He can do it all. And I just feel like, yeah, he's obviously not in contention last season, but that was because he joined halfway through. But now that he's got a full season ahead of him, I think he's going to put up numbers. I think he's going to put in great performances in. And I think Young Player of the Award would be Dejan Kulusevski. And finally, my manager of the season, gaffer of the season. It just depends how you look at it, really. If you win the league, you could say Pep Guardiola should earn it, really. Conte breaking the two up, in my opinion, is that worthy of it? Probably yeses to both of those questions. But I'm gonna go for something different. I'm just not gonna go for I don't want to go for the obvious one, because you kind of expect City to win the league, so you kind of expect Pep Guardiola to do his job. That's the bottom line of it. So I'm gonna go with Eddie Howe. I think there was a moment last season. I know it was early on, but there was a moment last season where I thought Newcastle are dead and buried. But he was then there was a later point in the season where they were top of the league in terms of the last however long, and he done brilliantly to make the signings they made in January, keep that core, build it, and have them close to the top half of the league. I think they're gonna be in the top half of the league this season. They've obviously not had the summer they've wanted in terms of splashing, bringing players in left, right, and centre. FFP's been a problem. So far, they've brought in Nick Pope and Sven Botman. I think they're both, again, steady signings. I think they're both only going to help the cause. But in terms of the fact that they've not actually splashed like that and kept a team that was teetering on the brink last season, and me, in my opinion, getting a top half finish, I think that's an amazing achievement. A lot of us thought they were going to get a major backing in this summer, and they were just going to buy borderline superstars, if that's how you want to word it. But yeah, the fact that they haven't, the fact that it's still majorly the same team as last season, and I think they're going to do big things in terms of finishing the top half and gain great scalps and whatever. I think Eddie Howe will do an amazing job to get them there if they do that. So, and if they do that, I think he's more than deserving of the Manager of the Year award, because I think that's a greater achievement than Pep Guardiola winning the league, obviously, because it's just so expected. And I'm not saying he's less deserving. If Pep Guardiola wins it, I'd understand. But I think if Eddie Howe does what I think he's going to do, I think it's a clear winner. So I'm going to go Eddie Howe. I'm not going to lie, I might look ridiculous at the end of the season, but you got to say something. So Eddie Howe for my Manager of the season. And that's all my predictions sorted. Obviously, T's going to come in now, do his. And we're going to see who looks silly at the end of the season. But that's mine sorted. Peace. I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, T's up next.